Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Chaos and Recovery. Today, our guest is Kelly.
Hey, Kelly. Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I know Kelly reached out to us through our Instagram and avid listener, which we thank you for. Said some really nice things about the podcast and about Jess's episode, and that kind of response is what drives us to keep going. So you reached out. You told us that you struggle with an eating disorder, and
you'd like to spread some awareness, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. And so thank you for coming on, first off. I know this type of forum might be tough for people. And
people get very triggered.
Yeah.
They could take one word and they're triggered.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like what? So what does triggering look like to you?
So triggering is a big thing is like calories, how many calories, or weight, or how you word things, like saying that you, from like something, an experience of mine, like saying you wish you were in the position of somebody else, but it was all, could have been worded differently. So like you have to watch everything you say because it's a very vulnerable time in like that type of recovery.
Yeah. Now, when did you start getting into, okay, maybe I need some help from outside sources? When did that mindset kick in for you?
So I hid it for years and years. It started off as like binge eating disorder, which is like you eat a lot in one time, and then you kind of have a lot of guilt and all that. It was probably, I think 2019 was the year I admitted I had a problem. I used to hide food. I would make like poor decisions on what I eat. And then it's almost like my eating disorder has evolved to where it is now, which would be bulimia and extreme restriction, which bulimia is, so binge eating disorder and bulimia kind of can go hand in hand. People will binge and then purge.
Okay.
Which is throwing up, if people don't know.
Sure.
And it's a way, the way I can describe a purging episode is it's a sense of release, of wanting to empty your body of something that you regret eating. And it's positive for your mental health, which I'm sure my people that, I speak to about this, will say it's not, but that's how I feel. But then I think of the aftermath of the damage you do to your body and all that.
Yeah. So it stuck out to me when you said, that it was a positive thing and other people would agree. I can see how it could be positive in the moment. Is that something that you think has long-term negative effects?
Oh, yeah, because it's the biggest thing is like an eating disorder is more mental than anything else. The mental turns to physical. And in the long run, I'm just damaging my body and, making things not work and the way they should anymore, But that's like one of the things I've in treatment is they're trying to one of the things I've learned, I'm in a recovery program called Equip Health. It's a virtual program. So I'm in groups with people from all over the country. I have like a team that I work with, a dietitian, a therapist, a peer mentor, and a nurse practitioner. And then I'm in a lot of groups during the week. But it is something that I've learned that I know it's bad for me. But it's an addiction. Restriction is an addiction, and that's why one of the things why I relate so much to the podcast. They consider me malnourished, but when you think of malnourished, you think of a very petite person, and very skinny. But being in the program, I've learned that that's not true at all. I've met so many different people that some people in all different bodies. And at first I was kind of okay, I'm not in an anorexic body and I'm fully aware. but I have anorexia tendencies. So I was like, wow, like it's going to be embarrassing when, you know, like when I do have to talk about it, because people will be like, I don't think you have a problem, but they don't know me. You know what I mean? And they don't know.
Now, when you talk about restrictions, what does that mean?
Restrictions is what like, so I have to use that as an example. So I come from an Italian background, and everything is based around food. Everything.
Sure.
We're sitting on the couch. There's something out.
Yeah.
Parties. There's a ton of food. You know. Even my mom. You know what I mean. She every time I go to her house. Oh, do you want this? Oh, do you want that? I'm like, no, I appreciate it, but thank you. If I want something, I'll tell you. I have come to the point like where like almost like I hate food. But I'm a wicked foodie, as you know. And in my head, I love food. Like, for example, like last night, I was dying for ice cream. But, like, I can sit there and go through DoorDash and, like, talk myself out of it. Because they look at it as eating disorder as, like, they talk about it like it's a person. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like, I get it. But I don't know if you feel this way about what you're in recovery for. It feels like I have a second person in my head, like, telling me what to do.
Yeah, of course. Well, there's always a battle of, okay, should I go down this road or should I go down this road? And for me, that never stops. Mm-hmm. You know, I can literally in 1 second think about how good it would be to use drugs again. And I would have to talk myself out of that. You know, so there's always, and being in a program myself has been one of the only things that has helped me duel that other side, you know, because I want that instant gratification. Mm-hmm. I want that obsession to be lifted, you know, that festers inside of me. And that's tough.
That's what it feels like too when you eat something, like, you know, if you eat and you make yourself self-induced vomiting, you feel like that, like, oh, I'm good. Nothing's gonna like go, like, you know, like fat isn't gonna go in like places I don't want it to, and all that. So like I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Kelly, can you speak a little bit on when this began for you, and maybe where the I guess actions or thoughts that other person in your head really started becoming apparent to you?
So I've always been like I've always loved food. You know what I mean? That's one thing I'll never, no matter what. Like, you know, I think about it, like, you know, I won't eat it, like where I'm at right now, like I won't eat it, but like, you know, it almost like takes over your brain. But I noticed I've always had an issue, like whether it be, you know, eating too much or not eating enough. But I don't remember the last time I ate too much, to be honest with you. But I noticed like 2019 was like when I first, did I already say this? 2019 was a time that I finally spoke about it, because it's such a disorder that you don't tell people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
What was your relationship with food like as a kid?
So as a kid, I think it was pretty normal. But there was always food around. When my parents are divorced, but when I was actually just talking about this with somebody, when my dad did like the grocery shopping, it was the same thing, the same snacks. If I had to look at another Kudos bar, I was gonna die. But so when my parents split up, I was 15. And my mom has always been more open to like trying things and doing different things. And so I feel it probably got a little like worse the more I live with my mom. And I'm not blaming her at all. I'm my own person. She's one of my biggest supporters. But I was okay like in my teens, like, you know, like I always looked at myself as like the fat friend, because my friends were all, you know, petite. And I look back on it now and I'm like, I would kill to be that size again. Like, I was not, you know, when they say like high school fat and adult fat are like two totally, like, you know. But it really got worse, truthfully, when I went into recovery for it, because it's a lot of gate-kept stuff that you don't really, like, you put in the back of your head. That's what I always say. Oh, it was back there. And sometimes things come out.
When you start talking about them and
Yeah, or
one
hearing other
hallway
people's
leads to
stuff.
another.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like, wow, I'm not crazy. Or wow, that's so similar. I can't get over how similar me and like people and my friends in group think.
Yeah. I feel the same way going to my meetings, you know. So this program, how did you get involved in this program?
So my therapist here at home in Rhode Island, we had been talking about it. I have a dietitian here in Rhode Island, but while I'm on the program, we're on like a hold. I've been seeing this therapist since I was 15. I'm now 33. And she basically like said to me, she's like, you need to help. And then she started using the word higher care. If you don't get help, higher care.
Sure.
And she looked up the program during my appointment and literally sent the I don't know, like if you call it referral.
Yeah.
And because she knows if I went home, I wasn't going to do it. So she's the reason I'm in it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Now, 18 years with the same counselor, therapist. Has it helped?
Yes, in the sense like we had some like times where we didn't, but like she was always like when I went through a breakup, I called her and she took me right in.
Yeah.
It's crazy because we both always say like we've watched each other evolve to like her style of, what I like about it is she knows everything already. So I bring her new stuff, but I would call she's very, I'm not going to use the word pushy. She's very like, she knows what I'm capable of. And so she will be the one to be like, okay, you need to do this. We're doing this.
Calls you out on your shit almost.
Oh yeah. And I need that,
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's do you feel like your relationship with your therapist has come to a place where 18 years is a long time with the same person. Has almost come to a like a friendship state more than a person, more than a business type state? Because that can be damaging a little bit.
Yeah. No, we're not like friends. The best way I can describe it is I truly feel like she cares about me.
Yeah.
And she does. Like, I had a little episode like 2 weeks ago and I called her and she picked up immediately. It was 7 o'clock at night.
Oh,
You know
wow.
what I mean? 8 o'clock.
Nice.
And you know what I mean? Like, she always tells me, like, you can call me anytime. She goes, I may not answer right away, but I'll always call you back. But I've gotten lucky. She always answers. So
Yeah.
I catch her at the good times. But
Yeah.
I don't look at it as a negative thing. I don't like to open up to people, which is like, obviously I'm here and it's an awareness thing for me today. But to talk about like past trauma and things I've been through and seen, I don't want to start with,
All over again.
because I went back to her recently. I was kind of in like a no therapy. And I always joke about this. I always say, I want like a therapist like that's been through a divorce or a seasoned therapist. Like, I don't want to talk about my personal issues with somebody younger than me or the same age as me. You know, like.
Interesting.
But yeah, so it's just my friends always laugh when I say that, and I've said it in groups before. I'm like, yep, I want a therapist with some trauma and some life experience. So
Yeah.
No.
I guess I'm interested in hearing about if you've done work on or have come to an awareness of like breaking open where maybe the eating disorder was birthed or what where does it come from? Like why did it begin for you?
because I always looked at, like I said before, my friends were always on the more petite side, and they would wear things that like I wish I could wear.
Comparison,
a
kind
lot.
of.
Okay. That's something big for me is comparison, and I have a big problem with that. Like like it's something that I internally like can't let go of.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I still I have this problem today. Like I look and I know this is not true. Like the eating disorder for me is also like a beauty. I look at it as like beauty. Like this has affected like my dating life, friendships, and because I sound so negative, but I don't mean to, because I'm a very happy person and I love to laugh, and you know what I mean. But like when it comes to like compliments, like I hate compliments. Somebody like I was just like, oh, you look good. Like, you look like you've lost weight. And in my head, I'm like, thank you. I don't think I did, but thank you. Like,
Yeah.
So it's hard. And people are just being nice. And I know that. But that's what I would consider like triggering, like for me. But that's just me.
Yeah. So you talked about how it's impacted your dating life. How has it impacted your dating life?
So, like, if I meet somebody and I'm trying to think how to word this. We're getting to know each other, and then like compliments start coming out, and like, like I immediately like become like unattracted to them. Like I'd rather, like I always say, like we like bad boys, like so.
So is that because it's like, why do you think that you get unattracted when someone compliments you?
Because I don't think I'm attractive.
So you don't believe them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hit the nail right in the head. And I just want to be like, all right, please stop,
So they become unattractive because you look at them as if they're liars?
100%.
Okay, interesting.
And I know my eating disorder doesn't define my beauty, but my friend in my head tells me something else.
Yeah.
Do you believe like things that we believe instantly, right? Our brains have formed the habit to believe a certain thing. Do you feel that do you have the awareness of that, or do you truly instinctively believe that could not be true? Or are you able, do you know that could be true? That somebody, when somebody tells you a compliment, that they could mean it? And that your brain's just telling you that they don't mean it?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
And I say that because, like...
Because people can mean that you're beautiful, right?
I know. I know that, but, like, I feel like because I don't feel it...
Yeah.
I don't think others feel it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's a great example. It was somebody on Snapchat. Like, I don't remember how I became friends with them. And it was, like, a picture I posted, and he put... You're very beautiful. If you lost 100 pounds, you'd be even more beautiful. So that's... And I was kind of like... Luckily, I didn't take it personally. Because I'm like, who is this? Like, I don't even really know this person. Like...
Yeah.
And he goes, don't take it the wrong way. I'm like, how do you expect me to take it? You're literally, like, criticizing my body.
Textbook moron, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you didn't take it personally. But... I can understand how you would, right? Because we take everything personally.
I was bullied as a kid. And it's funny because I didn't realize I was being bullied. I went from Catholic school to public school. And my mom was like, I looked at it as like, oh, they're my friends. Or, oh, like this. And mom's like, I don't think fully it's that. Like, I'm a people pleaser. So I, was trying to, like, make friends and do too much and, So but then that's when I got in my teen years. That's when it like really like, started. And I've learned that bullying doesn't stop. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, it's tough trying to please everyone when you're not pleasing yourself.
Yeah, I'm still a people pleaser though. Like, I'll always listen to I always say I feel like I have a tattoo that says vent to me. And nothing against my friends. I love them. But they've gotten better about, they can tell when I can't take any of their stuff in. They kind of give me distance, but I always check in with them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's...
Like, I just feel like I need to be there for everybody. Like, for example, last week I had a dietitian appointment. I have, like, reoccurring appointments. And she had said, I think you need to start bringing supports in. And I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it because I'm not going to burden my friends and family with my problem and like what I choose to do, because it's ultimately like what I do is a decision, Yeah, but we all need support. I know.
And I know Steve's spoken about this on the podcast and to me many times that like, especially with like, a serious addiction, not knowing that or not believing you can ask for help, it's a sure shot for downfall. Because you need support. So it's not that you're going to get support from everybody and their mothers. I mean, everybody you know, there's a hard balance as an adult, right? Of like, when can I vent? When can I vent? You know, when, you know, how much, you know, support can I get from this person and how much support can I give to people? That's just an adult thing. I think we all struggle with that balance. But yeah, without support,
I'd rather
we really struggle as humans.
you suffer
know?
alone though in this type of like, I'm just kind of comparing in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like something you suffer alone in, and you don't.
I have to say that's false
I know.
because
I know, but
I think you choose.
yeah, oh, yeah,
It's a choice.
I
To
choose to
suffer
isolate,
alone.
like, you know.
Sure.
ultimately, but is that choosing to hinder your recovery?
I think it'll. I don't know if it'll make it better though. That's what I think about, like, because you know, when they say like, there's too many cooks, they'll spoil the
Yeah,
broth.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, you know, it's going to be another influence and direction of another person. So it's like I can imagine being in a program like you're in and having your family and then having your friends and then having relationships, whatever. It's a lot of feedback, right? So
Yeah.
it's really hard sometimes when we're going through so much and you're like, oh, well, this person's saying this or this person's saying this. You know, it's like if you ask somebody their opinion on what should I do about this, you're going to ask your mom, you're going to ask your friend, you're going to ask whoever, and they're all going to probably say something a little different, you know? So that must be really difficult to... I can understand why too many chefs in the kitchen is not, you know, super beneficial, but I guess it's kind of finding where your support system is, you know, and then creating your own boundaries. Hey, mom, I need you for support in this way.
Yeah.
But I unfortunately, I'm going off of the advice for my steps in this program, through the program and through my therapist. Can you be here to support me? Right? Those are just like the honest conversations that sometimes are hard to have. And finding where you can bring in other support. Hey, mom, I need you to have lunch with me every day and stay with me for an hour, you know? Or, hey, friends, I need you to come over once a month for a dinner and we're going to all have this. Like, is that cool with you? You know,
Yeah.
make it work for you without feeling like you're asking too much or feeling like it's a burden, you know? Because you don't have to be a burden. You're not a burden.
And like, I like believe you, but like, it doesn't change how I feel, you know. That's one thing for me. I have an amazing support system. My family, you know what I mean? Like my friends, like I know some people like that I know in like my groups, like they don't have what I have, and it breaks my heart because like I don't know what I would do. And it's crazy because all my friends have different personalities and they all help in different ways. You know what I mean? Like
course.
I have like the friends, like I would call them like my best friend Tasha. I can like tell her anything, but like she's not like super like warm and huggy.
Yeah.
You know that, Tosh. You know that. But like she's like that friend who,
We all
Can.
need that. That's
Oh.
for sure.
hell yeah.
We all need the different personalities.
Well, she's like the friend that like will be like, okay, like that's stupid. You're being stupid. Like, you know.
Not coddling you.
No, not even. We always say she's
That's a real friend.
as lovable as a porcupine.
Yeah.
But no, she's one of my core people in my recovery, in the sense that we like feed off each other. Like we like always joke around, and like, you know, like she is somebody who, when my social battery dies, I can still be with her. I can do anything with her. You know what I mean? Like we lived together for a few years. So like she's like a big, and I don't think she realizes it, but she's a big part of my recovery, you know. I have like my best friends since I was how old were we? Katie and Christina. They have been my best friends since 7th grade. They do their part too. You know what I mean? Like, and everyone does a different part. Like you yourself are a very big part, because I look at you as like an older sister that I don't have, and you give the best advice.
Oh, thanks.
So, you know, you're a big key part of my recovery.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Cal.
So I want to hear a little more about this program,
Okay.
because me myself, I've been through many programs for my addictions, and so I know I have a few friends in 12-step programs who have also ventured over into Overeaters Anonymous. Have you ever been to an Overeaters Anonymous meeting?
No.
No, you just done the program.
Yeah, because I didn't want to like admit I had a problem, you know.
Oh, okay.
That was like for me, like I said, my therapist had to sign me up. So it's called Equip Health.
Yeah.
It's all over the country, and I get a lot from it. Like I don't know, like for example, like they have like this thing this week where like there's only groups for like Monday and Tuesday, and then they all have to go. I'm very anxious about that because like the groups are what get me through the day, and it's kind of like people like who go to AA. You know what I mean? Like some people I know go all day long. You know?
Yeah.
And the groups are what really help. One of them I do struggle with is my meal support group where you have to like eat in front of people. But like the facilitator who's now my peer mentor, she's amazing. And I just don't eat and she knows it. You know, like I'll drink something. Like I prefer to like drink things. Like if you go on my fridge, like I have like energy drinks, coffee, protein shakes, water. So like I have everything. Like, but it's more drinks than like food in my fridge.
Okay.
So like she like lets me do that, you know.
Yeah.
But I did actually recently do a meal support with one of my friends from Equip. It's called Project Heal, and it's a little more. They kind of ask like what you're eating and all that, and you know I left my camera off like when and all that, and it wasn't for me personally, you know. But the meal support and Equip is we play games. It's supposed to be like you're sitting around a table eating, but and it's the same people.
Or throughout like your day, like what does a normal week in this program look like?
So Monday's like my busiest day. I literally start at 5 and finish at 11. Like there's neurodivergent groups.
5 in the morning?
No, PM.
Okay, PM. Okay.
No, I don't get up that early for that. So like there's like neurodivergent groups. That's a really good one. Self-esteem groups. They have multiple support groups where it's like an open like forum so you can talk, but you have to watch everything you say. So that's why I kind of like I was excited to do this because I can talk about things that like I have to like censor, you know, like so you don't trigger other people in the group, you know. And
well, I think that's the facilitator's job as well.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Oh,
It's
like yeah, they'll side message you and say like just watch how you word things, like you don't get in trouble, you know. But yeah, there's all different types. There's like for 50 plus age people. There's trying to think. The DBT ones are big. So like they like recommend. I hate DBT.
What's that?
Do you?
I hate DBT, but I do it. There's
Behavioral therapy.
yeah, it's like I'm not gonna get it right, but it's a type of therapy. So like what there is, it's interpersonal effectiveness, emotion regulation, mindfulness, and I got what's the last one? Mindfulness. No, perfectionism is CBT. Oh my God, why can't I think of it? It'll come to me. But yeah, so there's like 4 components, and theirs are 4-week intervals, and you don't have to like, you know, if you come in on week 3, it's okay, you know.
Do you feel that how long have you been in the program?
It's distress tolerance. That's what I
Distress
thought.
tolerance.
Sorry, I knew it was gonna come. That's the one I lacked the most in because that's the one I lacked the most in. I've been in it since the beginning of April, and it's about a year program. Anything like after that, like you have to get like really approved through your insurance. Like there's to be like legit like an extension.
Sure.
But yeah, so I'm like half.
Do you feel that it's being in the program is benefiting you? Is it? Have you seen growth?
I see growth, and you know what I mean. I kind of go plateau. I mean, like there's different points. You know, you are going to plateau in the program. Like it's normal for you to kind of like, you know, go from like here and then you like plummet. You know, and I know that's where I'm at right now, and I know it'll get better.
What do you think causes the plummet?
Anything. Life.
So external,
stress.
like
Yes.
stressors and whatnot. Interesting.
Yeah. Would you relate that as like kind of a relapse?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was doing really good. I was like, I'd gotten down. I think I didn't purge for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then, you know, it's pretty much as a relapse.
Sure.
And I don't mean to be negative, but I feel like the best way I can describe it is like you're in a pool and you're trying to get to the surface because you swam to like the deep end, the bottom, and you can't reach the top. And that's like, I'm right now trying to reach the top. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough cycle to be in, you know, and then pick yourself back up. Now, do you tell people when you have these moments of relapse? Or do you hide it?
it's a little bit of both. Some of my friends know if I don't text a lot. They know, you know what I mean, like to do that. And sometimes I just, like, I will say, like, I'm in a really bad place. Like, you know, I need to, like, not leave my house because I'm starting to isolate really bad. And I just, like, this weekend was the first weekend in a long time I didn't have to leave the house, and I didn't. Only go to work. I picked up a Target pickup order and a Shaw's pickup order.
You came here. That's good.
I came here on Monday, yeah.
Now, from my understanding in other addiction programs and in other addictions, period, like, you know, Steve has a sponsor, right? Everybody has a sponsor, their person. And Steve talks a lot about, like, the surrender. And it kind of brings me back to my dad's episode where, you know, they talk about this surrender and giving it up to a higher power or giving it up to whom and whatever. But the way I understand it is this point, you know, that I think we all hit as humans about one thing or another is where, like, okay, I'm trying to control this. I don't really hold the control. I'm pretty powerless over my addiction or my issue at hand. And my dad talks about just his sponsor. He just said, okay, I'll do anything. Right? So it's this guide and this person to, if you can give up the power fully and say, I'll do what you say, then you're kind of taking the weight off of your shoulders. Like, I don't have to make all the right decisions right now. I just have to be told what to do. And if I follow being told what to do in this, you know, for however long, then it will become habitual for me to do it without that everyday support or guidance. Am I kind of right at saying that? And
yeah,
I'm wondering
absolutely.
if that's something that you feel like you have, like a sponsor in this program. I don't know if they're.
Well, I know in
Can be
Overeaters
viewed that
Anonymous,
way.
there are sponsors,
Okay.
there are steps, there's all of those things, you know? I mean, it sounds like the person you were talking about, who was, is it the facilitator, or who was she that you were talking about?
therapist?
No, not the therapist, in the program.
The peer mentor?
The peer mentor.
Yeah, so I had this amazing peer mentor for so long, and since I started, and she was amazing, and she, you know, left. She got another job offer, which, you know, I'm happy for her. She just knew what to say. But my new peer mentor she runs the meal support group. So, like, if you want a reassignment, they call it, say you're not vibing with your therapist, you can fill out this form, and, you know, you don't have to get too much into detail, you know, I would like a reassignment, you know, and you can ask for somebody. I don't like starting over. So, like, when mine was leaving, I filled out the form immediately. I was like, all right, I want Gabby. That's her name. She's the best. And, she is a big support because it's like you're talking to your friend. It's, you know what I mean? It's not so, like, you know, I don't want to use the word clinical, but, like, you know, touch on this, you know, like, you can talk about, she is someone who is close in age with me, which I think that benefits from that. But I have to say, my peer mentor I originally had, Nikki, she said one of the best things to me, though, that really, like, stuck with me. She said to me, if you could pick one of your friends and to have their relationship with food, who would you pick? And I didn't even think twice. I said, my best friend, Katie. Katie lives to eat. I wish I could be like her. Like, a buffet doesn't want to see her coming. Like, you know, and it's like, I'm like, well, Katie's so skinny and she can do that. And, you know, and I always say that because she has such a healthy relationship with it, you know, and I strive to be like that someday in my life.
Yeah. So I want to get back to kind of what Jessica was saying, too, because I'll relate it to my problems. I was always focusing on kind of this drug addiction as Like, I would always validate myself as the victim in who I was. I always had to have that identity to fuel the fire to use and to keep using. If I kept telling myself I'm a terrible person, terrible father, fuck it, why not just use again? That made it easier for me to use drugs and alcohol. And I played the victim for a very long time in my life just for those reasons. And it was an identity for me for a very long time.
Makes sense.
And I held on to that because I didn't know any other fucking way. And not until I found like a very good sponsor, not that, but also I had to go through so many relapses to finally understand I had to stop. I had to stop making my own decisions. I had to start listening to somebody else tell me what to do all the time. See, I call my sponsor every day, and I tell him what's going on. Is that you?
Sorry, I can't figure out Do Not Disturb.
If you pull
I
it
need
down.
Yeah, pull it down.
Pull it down.
No, it's on.
Go to focus.
It's on. I just.
I'm like,
this
is that
happens
me?
when I'm
Like,
teaching dance.
how
I'm
long-
like, it says Do Not Disturb. The kids
But
are
some
like,
people can hit notify anyway.
How long have you been a iPhone user? You're
just a girl.
so like, yeah.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
So it's, I had to convince myself that I wanted this healthier life. You know, it didn't make it easy, but it made it so that I would rather be in recovery rather than relapsing. Now, I'm only 8 months removed from my last use.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely, 100%.
Congratulations.
And I have the same problem. I have a tough time with people giving me compliments. Great job, you got 8 months. Yeah, but I've been here before. I've done this again. You know, like, so I have this duality of, yeah, you're doing a good job, but yeah, you've already been here before. Don't fuck it up.
It's the angel and devil on your shoulder.
Sure. And so I guess my basis I'm trying to get across is like, how much does playing a victim play in your disorder or your disease, however you want to call it, reframe it, your addiction? Like, have you ever put any thought into that?
That's a good. I never thought as in depth as it as you're saying. I do feel like I do it sometimes because I'm like screaming for help, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But sometimes, yeah, I can see myself in that position. Like, it's almost like a cry for help, but not being as direct and being like, I need help and I need your support. And, you know, because like, I think of it like everyone has their own stuff, you know, we don't have like a particular, like a sponsor. I'd say I have like, you know, they call it a care team. So, but like they're available 24/7. You can like, there's like a whole, like I have like a whole like platform and I can message them anytime. And you know,
I think from what you're saying, it's almost like not necessarily victim mentality, but like it becomes part of your identity, like you were saying. So it's like, you know, I think it's identity is something that we don't even notice. Sometimes our unconscious, like,
awareness to it.
yeah, we're almost generating an excuse for our mental health with an identity. But it's like, you're Kelly, right? So you're, if I was to ask you, you know, tell me 3 things about you, is that going to be one of them if you're saying real things about you?
Not out loud.
Exactly. But you're associating that with like, this is...
It is who I am.
Yeah. So it's and that's valid and that's important to recognize that it's a huge part of you and your story and your daily battle. But I think ourselves, what we do is like, where I can, we all have these things that we attach to our identity. And then in turn, we're not realizing how much like attachment, spoken or not spoken, is generating now our mental health. We're not really separating ourselves from the...
I think the identity evolves into an excuse. Mm-hmm. I'm a drug addict. This is what I do. I use drugs. Like, I don't know how to fix myself. If I go and relapse, I have an excuse. My family knows I'm a drug addict, so it's kind of like a pass, almost, Mm-hmm. And it generates the relapse for me. Mm-hmm. It can help me generate the relapse, and that it goes back to the convincing thing. I was convinced of that. Eventually, I will relapse because I am this person.
Because I'm like you're saying, I'm a drug addict.
So I'm a drug addict. This is what I do, and it took me so long to convince myself otherwise. Mm-hmm. And now I am convinced and put my identity into I am an addict in recovery. Mm-hmm. And to cross that bridge, it's very hard. But in essence, for me, it's a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. I had a session with Justine a while back, and this stuck with me. I'm relating this to myself because I can relate in some different perspective where I was really just struggling with like, wait, I don't, like, I feel as though my words, my action, and where my mental health is right now is like, I know better, but I truly feel like I don't love myself. And I was really struggling with like what it is that I needed to figure out and fix, and what kind of therapy and what kind of digging up the trauma or the roots, or what kind of healing that I needed to start loving myself and to really innately feel like I really love myself, right? Because I think everybody on this planet has moments of feeling like shit. And I guess how much that can evolve is to each his own. But she said this, and it stuck with me forever because it makes perfect, simple sense, is stop trying to figure out what thing is going to make you, fix you to love yourself, and start living your life as a woman that loves herself. Mm. I didn't say that perfectly proper, but the point is like, stop waiting to be fixed to live the life that a woman that loves herself would live. It's like, start actually living like you're that woman. That's it. It's that simple. It's not that simple, but you know what I'm saying? What would someone in recovery be doing today?
Yeah.
Not be, I don't know. It seems...
Oh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, easier words are said than done.
I was just going to say that.
Of course.
But at the same time, like, all of these programs that we're in, they're all simple programs when you lay them out. Like, there's directions. There is, do this and this will get better.
Yeah.
Do this and this will get better. Like, I always say, like, I hear it all the time, these are simple programs for complicated people. Mm-hmm. We're the ones that complicate the process, complicate our feelings, motivate our feelings in a positive or a negative place, and we're usually the ones that fuel our own fire.
100%.
For a purpose, and it's the process is hard. Where do you see yourself going in the next couple years with this program? Like, is this something that because you said it's a year program. Mm-hmm. What happens after the year? Do you have a plan B?
So when you're getting ready to discharge, that's when they start creating a team when you get out. Like, you can't just get out and not have like any type of support.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't imagine not being in it right now because it's such like a it's what helps me get through the day. But yeah, like, you know, like you get out, like I know when I get out, I already have a dietitian in Rhode Island. I already have my therapist here in Rhode Island, you know, my psychiatrist, you know. So like I know I have a team that's gonna be ready for me when it's my time to go, you know.
Yeah. Would you be open to going to an Overeaters Anonymous?
Well, the thing of it is, I'm not an overeater, and I haven't been. So, like, that I find that to be, I don't want to use the word triggering, but, like, I mean, I would consider it, but, like, in my head, my thinking would take over because I'm like, well, it's not really your problem. And, you know, like, they do have in the program a binge eating class, and I took it like twice and I just don't relate to it anymore. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
So well, let me hold on one second.
Yeah.
So like when I say this is their label, when you look at it at the label, that's not me. Understandable. The premise behind this program is one, it's a community. And two, I've seen more people get well through the 12 steps program that all of these anonymouses follow.
Okay.
And Gamblers Anonymous, Sex Anonymous, OE Anonymous, all of those things follow this one diagram, which is the 12 steps. And for me, I've tried everything to get sober until I tried the 12 steps. And right now I'm on 10, 11, 12, which I do constantly. That's one day. Every day I do 10, 11, 12. That was the only thing that got me to such a strong place with my addiction. And I've talked to many people that go to Gamblers Anonymous, OE Anonymous, Sex Anonymous. Once they dove into the steps, they started figuring out what the real thing was behind the disorder or behind their addiction.
Okay.
You know, because there is your addiction, but then there is something that drives your addiction and keeps it fueled and keeps it going.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Most of the time it's resentments, people, places, and things, triggers, all of these things, which they end up finding by doing the 12 steps. And I'm not knocking programs
No,
like
I
the
know.
one you're doing. I'm not knocking therapists. What I'm saying is nobody understands you other than people that have gone through what you're going through or are going through what you're going through. And until I found that and gave that a shot, I was stuck in my cycle.
That's where the peer mentor comes in. Like that's one of the things. But yeah, they actually have two, which I would like my mom to like take it. It's what did they word it? They would meet, like it's somebody on my team. I wouldn't meet with her. My mom would meet with her, or yeah, because she's a her. She's a female. I was trying to think. I'm like, is it her? But she has some woman's name. So they would meet. She would meet with her, and they're kind of like peer mentors, but they're like support mentors, like in the sense like they've had a child that's gone through this, they've had somebody very close to them where they were like, I guess you can call it like a caretaker, you know, of like how to deal with it as a parent or as a support.
Yeah, interesting. I definitely hear what you're saying, Steve, and I think that's where what I was trying to drive is like this notion of becoming completely powerless. I think is really beneficial for anybody. You know, it's like when you can drop your thought process or ego out of it and you become powerless to this. It's like, okay, this is what I should do today. If I just do these things today, then I'm not going to be taking part in my addiction, disorder, negative patterns, whatever it may be. Yeah, so it's interesting, you know, I think it's, you know, you're going through a program and that's amazing, but just knowing that there are other, you know, other routes or other communities that are there to support you. And I got a little confused because I don't know much about it, but like you said, overeaters, right? But I'm sure you can't fully speak on what that a group is. So it's like, I don't know if that's just the term or label, but I would assume that it would be an eating disorder.
Yes.
Where it's not just that. So I think that it's not specified.
Yeah,
It's
the
just-
label is the generic term or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
They'll call it OE.
Sorry, it's wording for me. I
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Literal sense. I get it. But like this is also a program where, people with anorexia or bulimia go and stuff like that. And I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
What I know is the structure behind it, the steps that people take to learn to cope with what they're going through. What is their real problem? Because all of the stuff that you described that you're going through, that's all destructive in your life. Like my destruction was drugs and alcohol, but that wasn't my problem. That's just what destroyed my life
Yeah.
and destroyed everything around me, destroyed my mental. But that wasn't my real problem. My real problem was my way of thinking, my ego, my self-confidence, my still thinking as a 10-year-old who was scared and
So
alone.
those just fed into that pretty much.
All of those things were the things that drove what destructed my life, which was drugs and alcohol.
And like I said earlier, I think that when I asked you, that's what I was trying to get at. When I asked where do you think that this was birthed or where do you think it came from, right? Because it's like the action is one thing, but when you had said, oh, I had been the self-comparison and the bullying, it's like those are huge, strong things that shape the way that you think about
Yourself.
and all stereotypes surrounding what beauty is, what comparison is, what should or shouldn't be, what makes this this is what I want and it's attainable versus this is what I had. Gets really complex and deep. I think.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. I know what you mean now. Because I had to think about like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, where did it come from? Because I'm thinking like literal, like like very
Yeah, of
surface level.
course, yeah.
But it's you were talking about like how your mind works with it.
And that's why as you're breaking open more stuff, you're finding yourself in these roller coaster highs and lows, or because, I mean, the shit is not, no matter what type of healing, awareness, recovery you're in, it's usually not like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I'm in recovery. Yes, finally. I mean, it is, right? To an extent, because you're doing that good work. It's a positive thing, but the actual daily struggles are.
Yeah, and I don't think that past trauma is exciting to look into.
No.
But it also doesn't change how you are. Like, you could figure out, what made me feel this way, what made me drive me to my addiction. That's great. That doesn't change anything. I've found, me personally, that shows a lot about my patterns, but it doesn't help me succeed in recovery.
Yes.
Understanding. For me, I didn't have to find the answer. What I had to find was what drives me today. Why do I keep repeating my cycles?
Yeah.
Why do I feed into it? And it's hard to soul search in that way.
Oh yeah.
But the understanding gives you compassion towards yourself. It gives
That's valid.
It gives instruction. I think a new perspective. It gives like, okay, I know why. I know where this is coming from. I can place that as like I'm seeing myself compare. I'm not seeing myself. I'm not just saying I'm watching somebody. They said this. Now that's instruction to go down this path. I see that they're saying that. I see that is leading me to my comparison.
They always say like give yourself grace.
Yeah.
In the program a lot, and like even like I have a few. You're not supposed to make friends in it, but you're bound to make.
Yeah.
So I have like a few of them. But one of them I'm very close with. She'll always say that to me, like you gotta give yourself grace, and I need to give myself grace.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What kind of support do you wish you had from others in your life with going through this process?
I mean, I've always had a lot of support. I wish like so for example, my mom like has a very like doesn't fully understand it, you know, like I wish she understood it more. You know what I mean? Like in the sense like she does support me, like, you know what I mean? Like she's my best friend. I wish she knew how to, like, you know, like I don't tell, you know, like she knows like I don't tell her everything, you know, and because it upsets her, you know, because your parents want to fix you. They want to take your pain away, and I know it hurts her. I wish she understood it more. But I wouldn't say, honestly, I have pretty much have support in most areas.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest ones, but like she does her part. She does her job, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's hard because I'm a very big advocate for it and talking about it because nobody wants to talk about it. But at the same time, like then I think about it, I'm like, oh, why'd I say that? You know?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What
What do you?
could you do to make your mom understand more and give her the opportunity to understand more?
She needs. I think it would be better if she came to like a session with
Have
me.
you asked her?
Oh yeah, she's very open.
Okay.
It just stinks because like her work schedule when I do them, you know.
Yeah.
I'd have to like schedule like, which is not a big deal, like a
Yeah.
separate session. But oh yeah, she's, you know, I think she would understand it more. I think she'd benefit from maybe a couple.
Yeah.
You know. But I also like we all have our own shit, you know. Like I always like never. I know I worry her just where I'm at right now in life, and I don't want to like worry her anymore because like, you know, certain words, you know what I mean? Like you hear louder than others. Like, what was the word I said earlier? Higher care. I heard that today and I'm like, ooh, you know, but I just try to dismiss it, you know, for now. And it pushes me to like, maybe like, okay, like you don't need to go there if you do this, you know?
Sure. Do you believe that?
I believe it. It's hard to like act on it. Like, for example, my dietitian, she'll say like, okay, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to do this? And she'll like look at me and she'll be like, you don't have to say yes to please me. If you're not going to do
Yeah.
it, just be honest.
Right.
Or like if you're going to struggle with it, you know?
Do you have a tough time being honest?
No, because, well, my eating disorder, it's a little tough because it's all over my face or anything. Like, you know, like I have a hard time lying, which is a good thing because there's no need to lie. But it depends. Like, it's hard to answer. Like, yeah, it's very hard to answer. I don't like to get specific, like, with her about, but I fill out an SMT every week, a self-monitoring tracker. So, like, I have to, like, write everything I eat down. And she'll always, one of the things is she'll be like, why do you think this is a meal? You know, and I'm like,
Do you think you want higher care?
no, I can't, and I don't.
Do you think you need higher care?
I don't think I do, but some people in my care team would say otherwise. Because I'm always like, okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. You know, like, and I think they can only hear that so many times, you know?
Have you contemplated it?
Yeah, I've thought about it, but I think of the financial end because I live alone in my own apartment. I think about, like, you know, unfortunately, I live an expensive lifestyle, you know, that I need to make that, like, I think that's a thing too. Like, I do things to, like, distract myself from it, you know, like, but honestly, what comes down to it is
If
I
there
don't
were
do
no
it.
excuses and nothing holding you back, do you think that's what's best for your recovery?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
sure
want to
it's
be
very
forced
hard.
to eat. Like, so one of the things we work on is mechanical eating. And I did it last week, and it, like, just ruins
Can I
food
be
for
very
me.
brutally honest?
Yeah.
When you say I don't want to be forced to eat, what I hear is I don't want to be forced to stop using meth.
Yeah. It's true, though, you know, and I don't know, like, it's...
I can't imagine how tough it is, and I don't know your experience at all, but from a friend and from a caring perspective, you know, I think that you deserve whatever it takes
I know.
to feel good.
And I know that, because I want to be a better person, and I do want to get better.
Of course, yeah.
Where I'm at right now, I feel like it just sounds like so far-fetched. I'm like, yeah, where I'm at, I don't see it happening.
Hard to believe, yeah.
Yeah, but I do know I will prevail eventually.
Yeah.
Whether it be when I finish the program, whether it be 5 years from now,
Did you always know that you would prevail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always confident.
That is that matter of fact. Hold on, no, because really, this is really interesting. Because I remember saying a lot with Steve's recovery, like, I mean, in our 20s, like, he's going to think that, he can wait till my dad's age and because my dad has such a great life and he's a great human and this is where he's at in his recovery, that perspective is he can wait until he's this old in life. And he thinks that, he'll get there someday, but what happens if he dies before then?
Sure.
So like my head would always be like so worried almost about that. He thought I'll get there someday, but in the meantime, he's going to ruin his life or something really bad would happen,
So that makes me think of like the meta, like exactly what you're saying, like how if he had that mindset, like it could kill him, Yeah. But I think about the damage it does to my body,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the I will prevail someday. I feel that too. It's like, when I act out in a way that is, no good for my well-being, or start to have thought spirals that are no good for my well-being. It's, I've said that a million times. Like, I know I'm going to grow and I'm going to get to this place. It's like, well, in a small way, that's my experience with it is like, I know that I'm going to get to that place, but how frustrating it is when these things come up and I'm not there yet, or I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, we can also be... People can co-sign our bullshit, too. As far as...
I like that co-signer bullshit.
As far as procrastination goes. Because I was a very big procrastinator in my recovery. I'll do this much to please this amount of people, but I won't do this because I can always do it tomorrow. Or I'll go to this meeting. Oh, no, I won't, because I'll just go to one tomorrow. And it was always tomorrow. And unfortunately for meth addicts, fentanyl addicts, whatever, we're not promised that next tomorrow, And so, I mean, it's a very valid comparison. But at the same time, it's how much bullshit do we give ourselves to cope with not being where we think we should be type of feeling, Because, yes, I do constantly go back after my relapse. But, like, I was never fully giving it my all. Never. And I can honestly say the last 8 months, I've literally given it my fucking all.
That's amazing.
And I've never felt more connected with my recovery. And I've started to relove myself and give myself that grace of fucking do it type of attitude.
And nothing comes above it, right? Like, nothing comes
course.
above it, So it's like
I've had to
you
stop.
can't go out if you can't go out, you can't go out. If you can't see a friend, you can't see a friend.
I went to go see a concert. I brought my dad because fucking who knows?
You can't go with anybody
I
else.
might be fucking tempted. That drink might look good.
Yeah.
And like I can't put myself in those areas. And like I have to know my boundaries. And like this is not something I've just come up with. My sponsor had to tell me this. My program had to tell me this. I had to listen to every fucking suggestion and not take it as a suggestion.
Yeah.
I suggest you,
Yeah.
look into this. No, I better fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that's just for me, And I feel like people that give it that all have that success rate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who might be struggling who feel guilty or ashamed to like talk to somebody about some of the things that you're going through?
I'm very big on like, I might not be big enough myself, but like talking about it. Don't keep it a secret.
Right.
I kept it a secret for so long. And it felt like very freeing when you like say it out loud.
Sure.
You know, and if people want to help you, let them help you.
Yeah.
You know, we always don't like practice what we preach, unfortunately, you know, but
Yeah,
I need to get better at it, and it's something I plan on working on, you know.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'd say like, you know, talk about it. Like, don't, you know, don't let your health decline, you know. Or what do you call that? You're like, don't let your ego take over almost, like.
When I hear what you're saying, I think like the best advice as a friend and just hearing your story, it would be like, I know you're aware that you're a people pleaser, right? But like, there's no room for people pleasing right now in your life. Like,
No,
it
not at
has
all.
to be like direct. What is how you can care for yourself right now is, you know.
I often
there's
think
no
about
room for that.
I often think about too. I almost forgot my thought, but it kind of goes like hand in hand with what you said. Like, so a lot of people, I personally have a very hard time hearing in group, this is my job. Equip is my job. I hate that I have to work and like do this. I had broken my hand in February, and I like drained a lot of basically all my sick time, vacation time, because I was out for like a month and a half, and so I'm unable to like take time off. And I always say in the beginning, I wish I took some time off, but I wish I could take time off now. I've actually like talked to some like, you know, HR at my job and all that, and you know, like I have full support at work.
Yeah, that's
you know, I wish I was able to focus more on it, because I do work in a mental health field, and it's very hard to work on your mental health when you have to worry about other people. So
Okay.
I wish I could take like just 2 weeks
Yeah.
to like focus on me, you know, but it doesn't, you know.
Couldn't you take a leave of absence for a higher level of care?
I could, but when it comes down to it, like, it's the financial end, because this world is so expensive.
With TDI.
Like, yeah, no, yeah, definitely, I could do that.
Yeah.
But it's the whole taking the step to do it, basically, is like kind of like what you said.
Yeah, it's scary.
Oh, it's very scary.
I've been there.
You know?
I've had to go to rehab, and but I won't be able to pay child support. Oh, I won't be able to do this. Is always the excuses I had, you know, until, you know, fucking I had to go, you know, until I drove myself so deep into a hole, you know. And, you know, you talked about how, yeah, but I don't have to go to a high level of care unless I do these things, unless I change what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's valid. That's up to you.
Oh, I know. Like, I'm aware of it, and like, you know, like that good side of me is like, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But
It might be nice to be in the predicament that it is this or that.
I do,
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it might like really help.
Either way, they'll get you to where you need to be, right? You know, in a better, safer place for yourself.
The only
So-
thing I can say is with that is when I was in college, I had somebody that was kind of going through that, where I was like secretly going through it, and she had went to higher care, and she said it was awful because like they like force you to eat, and you know, like if you don't eat, they give you Ensure, and she gained weight in it, and it was extremely triggering, and I know that's something that would trigger me, and that's just her experience,
Right.
you know. But like I think about like myself, and like if like, because like I have to step on a blind scale, you know, they would like to do it once a week, but I usually do it every 2 weeks, and you know, I can hear my dietitians in my head right now, you know, she'll be like, well, you know, like you're going down, and she's like, but this is not a weight loss program, and that's what they thrive like on talent. And I feel like I hear that all the time, you know, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be hard because your mentality, you know, I guess you're also struggling with the perspective of, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to need a second to collect my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know how to compare it, but it's like you also want to attain something physical out of healing the issue at hand.
You hit the nail right on the head.
So
Yeah.
I don't really know, how to relate that to,
you make sense.
but it kind of makes for two issues in your head. So you're trying to heal your mental, which will in turn heal the need to unhealthily try to attain this image you have or this physical thing you have in your head. But we're also addressing the addiction aspect of it, the action of, this is what needs to change in the daily life, So to find a system that works for you individually where all of that healthily is happening is overwhelming, I'm sure. It's the how can I be physically healthy and how can I be viewing my physical health in a way that is not a constant mental battle and loop of this affects this affects this.
I think the hardest thing too is like I probably should live with somebody for a little while just to like, but like I don't want to say my options are like, I like to be alone and I prefer to like live alone, but like I feel like sometimes I would probably thrive better in having someone with me. You know what I mean? Like not to like force me to eat, but like, oh, I made this, and my mom does that, but like I can't live with my mom.
But you can do that for yourself, or you can reach out to the higher power to help you.
I know.
I know.
But
I got to give it to you straight.
No.
That's how I see it. And,
No.
my perspective is nothing because I'm not going through what you're going through. But
Yeah.
got that.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for coming on today. And, you are beautiful. It takes a lot
I
of...
just said I don't like compliments.
That's
Steve.
fine. I don't listen well. So it takes a lot of courage to talk about these things. And I know how tough it is from my perception of going through my own addiction and figuring out where I go wrong throughout my addiction, figuring out where I go right, figuring out how to deal with my emotions, figuring out how I don't lie by omission, or all of these fucking laundry lists of things. And it can be very taxing. So I commend you on all that you're doing and continue to do. And, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about these things and opening up. And, I wish nothing but the best in your journey, And
Thank you so much.
This is a beautiful life. And, every time I do see you, you're smiling and, so keep the fucking smile going, girl.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Kel. And,
Thank you.
Just give yourself grace and know you're not alone, right? And everybody's struggling and battling through one thing or another. And it doesn't make you broken. It makes you pretty strong that you're in the process of caring for yourself. And that's a great place to be. And thanks for sharing your perspective, and I gained knowledge today, on things that probably aren't spoken about enough, with all the stereotypes and just, lack of awareness and understanding and what people think about maybe this topic,
Yeah.
In a society that's pretty fucked when it comes to it. Talking about body image and, the rabbit hole that it can go
Body
down.
dysmorphia is like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that, and I think it opens up the audience and just the world to having a little compassion when it comes to, something that's not talked about maybe enough.
Yeah.
So, and
Thank you.
You're great.
You're
And
great,
maybe
Jen.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye, thanks.
Nice to know.